What's up, guys? My name is Khan, and we're back today with more Scrap Mechanics Survival, and today we're going to finally start doing some stuff. We've got just a stockpile of garbage here. I mean, look at all this. Look at all this stuff. Look at all this. I think we should start farming at some point. We're going to start farming and start building a base. However, we need a few things before we do that, unfortunately. The one thing I noticed is I want to build the base out of these blocks here, metal block 3, because the durability is insane. It's got 8 out of 10 durability, and to be honest, I can't find anything in the crafting bot that we can make that has a higher durability than this block here. But the problem is, to make these blocks, you need these blocks, and to make these blocks, you need these blocks, and to make these blocks, you need to mine a bunch. And on top of that, you need a lot of water. You need this water stuff. So pretty much every block phase to go from like metal 1 to metal 2 and metal 2 to metal 3 requires a bunch of water. You can see here, if we go into the craft bot, water and charcoal, and then water and charcoal. And the charcoal, we've got some zones we can go to mine just a ton of that, not a big issue. But to get water, you either have to craft it from your buckets, right? Which means you have to collect each of the buckets and then craft one at a time, which this is just like, this is painful. You get the empty bucket back, you get some extra water, but this takes way too long. So the first thing I want to do today is set up one of these vacuum pumps. Apparently, if you put one of these vacuum pumps in the water and then connect it to a water container, it'll just automatically fill the water container with these water jugs. So I think that's got to be the first step. And then afterwards, I want to work on a robot arm that we can put on the front of this piston-powered vehicle. Another great tip from the comments: throw a bed on your vehicle. My goodness, this is OP. Like, I was out exploring to get more of these component kits, and I upgraded all 3 of these pistons to max level, which, to be honest, it doesn't really make much difference for the speed. This style of piston engine isn't really limited by the speed of the pistons so much of just its overall configuration. It's not the most efficient. There are way better piston engines to make, but it's a very simple one to make, and that's kind of why I did it. But anyway, these are max level pistons now, so we can get the fastest speed out of them, which is whatever. And of course, I put a bed on it, which is awesome, because every time you die, you literally just can put your vehicle up on a lift, and it's an infinite spawn point now, so it's kind of ridiculous, and the farm bots can never get it. So first thing, I want to just try out this vacuum pump, put it in the water, see if we can start auto-gathering water, because we're going to need a ton of water to make these blocks, and then, of course, put the robot arm on this so we can do a lot more mining and get more of this metal 3. My plan is to make the walls of the base out of metal 3, and then make the floors and the other interior stuff out of the base on concrete. Now, what do we need for the vacuum pump? We need honeycomb, circuits, and component kits. We have all that. We have enough for this as well to make some piping pieces. We need more circuit boards for that. We got a ton back at thing. And then this one, component kits, circuits, honeycombs, and glue. Okay, so we don't have glue, so we need some glue, which is shells. So we gotta go jump in the ocean, and 15 honeycombs and a bunch of circuits. All right, so let's just grab the stuff we need from our storage, and then we'll go jump in the ocean and get some clams. All right, we're just, you know, starving to death, normal stuff. I need to start growing plants. The reality is, every time I go out exploring, I either starve to death and respawn right on my vehicle, or I find some food to prolong starving by another like 5 minutes. So definitely need to grow our own food so we're not constantly starving. All right, anytime. There we go. Perfect. Look at this. Oh, I forgot I started this episode in this bed. Well, that's okay. We can go reset the spawn point, and we'll just get this one as the spawn point again. I am going to remove the bed from the vehicle, because when we're mining, I'm going to need this bed to actually be... You know what? Let's just do it now. I'm going to need this bed to be just over here for a while, because when we're mining... Can I really not put that flat? There we go. Perfect. Awesome. We're going to sleep there. But yeah, when we're mining, I'm going to need to put one of those big resource storage things on the front next to the robot arm, and that way we can just mine materials and have them auto stockpile, bring them back to the refinery, and do all that good stuff. I know a lot of people have been saying I should make a piston engine for the drill bit, but I want to put the drill on the end of a robot arm, and so putting a piston engine that can transfer power all the way up the robot arm is either going to be a lot of bearings and connections, or we're going to have to make a piston engine that's kind of held up by the robot, which I just think would be way too bulky. So I am going to do the robot arm with fuel for gathering resources. All right, let's collect this. Let's craft some glue. You'll notice too, I upgraded the craft bot to level 5. Again, in between episodes, I just kind of went to some of those structures we had found when we were exploring in the last episode. And, you know, nothing too fancy. I didn't go to any of the crazy structures, just the basic ones, and just looted them for more component kits. It seems like loot respawns every time you go out of the spawn zone and come back, it seems. So you can go back to some of the more distant structures, get more component kits, which is really like the biggest resource to get, I find. Everything else is kind of, you know, whatever, but component kits are definitely a big thing. All right, all this is done. Got all the glue, totally out of space in my inventory. Completely out of space in the inventory. All right, well, let's start, I guess, replacing some stuff. We got a chest here. Let's throw some stuff in the chest. So we don't really need to stockpile all this scrap metal, all this stone and concrete. We can kind of leave it all in there for now. Scrap wood. There we go. That just clears out the inventory a little bit. Water container. Perfect. Fuel. I think that's it, right? So we can actually just replace this seat right away. So let's delete that. Get our switches that fall out, which is perfect. Let's put the new seat down. All right, excellent. Hook up the steering for this guy. Just rotate those back. Grab the 2 switches, put them underneath again, just in case the seat gets deleted. Those switches fall out. And I think it's 1, 2, and then this one goes to that piston. This one goes to that piston. And now our car still works. Excellent. Oh yeah, that looks so much better now. Perfect. I don't know if there's like a difference in the seat levels. I'm pretty sure the better seat... Oh, I can upgrade you. I don't really feel like upgrading that just yet. We don't need more than 5 connections, do we? We have 4. Or is it 5... Is it 5 numbers or 5? No, I can do more than this. Does steering even count as a connection? I don't know. Let's find out. So that's 5 right there. What is this? 6. Yeah, so steering doesn't count as a connection. It must just mean like the buttons. You can only have 5 buttons on it, which actually might be a problem. We might need more than 5 buttons. But either way, we have the upgrade modules. We can do that later if we need it. All right, so I think what we're going to do now is just wait till morning because it's dark out and I'm scared. And when morning comes, we'll go out to the water and we'll set up this automatic water pump system just so we can, you know, start gathering water a lot faster and actually be able to mass produce metal. And then once we've got that set up, we'll upgrade this to have a robot arm on it and do some serious mining because that's the only thing stopping us now from building a base. Lots of water, lots of mining, and lots of charcoal. But I mean, charcoal is such a joke to go get. Alrighty, it's 4 in the morning. Perfect time for a sunrise. So let's just go right out to the water and let's see if we can get this pump system set up. I've never tried this before, so let's just see what happens. I think we just got to put the pump below the water and then connect it to a container, you know, with some stuff. So here we go. Let's just make a stand for it. I don't know how far below the water it needs to go. That looks pretty good. And then let's put the pump on the stand. Can we just... Oh, there we go. Something like that. Right? And the water comes out the top. So if we just go... That's kind of weird. It's so tiny. You'd think it had like a glass pipe on it, but it's just this tiny little pipe. All right, there we go. Perfect. And then what about this? Okay, there we go. That looks good. And then we got to put this container on the end of it somehow, right? How do we... Oh, I think that's it. Just literally like this, right? Okay, it looks good. It looks all connected. It's got some blue lights going on. No, we want it to pull. All right. See, why is this... Oh, because you can connect water tanks into, like, your water guns and stuff, right? So here we go. Turn it on. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. That's so quick. That's actually insane. All right, so we basically have unlimited water now. That is so much faster than doing it. Even, like, the crafting time. This is just way faster than anything. So, okay, perfect. So now we got a water setup. That is definitely going to happen at the base as well. We're going to definitely need a bunch of these. But there we go. Look at that. We can just gather water. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. Let's just do that. There we go. Let's let that make stacks forever. And that doesn't take any powers. It's just going to run. Hopefully no farm bots wreck it. Okay. All right. So now that the water problem is dealt with, we just need to build this robot arm. And of course, we're going to have pretty much like unlimited material now. There we go. Look at that. Just craft a ton of stuff. Craft a ton more. This is amazing. Now we're going to be able to build a ton of metal. So we need to build a robot arm, which means we need bearings. We only have 1. We're going to need, let's see, we need 2 for rotation because I want double bearings set up for rotation. 1 to rotate one way, 1 to rotate the other way. I want to use controllers for the robot arm because controllers also don't take any power. And if we have a controller on a loop, we can control the angle relatively simply. I mean, it's going to be a relatively slow moving robot arm, but compared to electric engines, it's going to be a lot smaller and it'll be a lot easier to use, I think, with controllers. So we need a couple for rotation, 2 for rotation. We need at least 1 for pitch and then an extension. And the reason why we only need one for pitch is right now this steering doesn't use W and S for anything. So I think we can use W and S on the robot arm itself, and then that way it'll all be good to go. Now, a level 1 controller only allows one connection per, but I mean, that shouldn't be a big deal, seeing as how we're just gonna have a bunch of different controllers anyway. So let's just grab all this stuff. So we need glue. Oh man, back into the ocean we go. We need a lot of glue. Okay, we're gonna need 3 per controllers. Let's see, we need 1 controller for rotate left, 1 controller for rotate right, so that's 2. We need another controller for up down, so that's 3. And I think that's it. 3 controllers, because then the rest will be done with pistons. We can have a piston to extend the arm out. I just wanted to rotate left and right, tip up and down, and then we'll extend it out with a piston. And that'll be pretty much it. You know what? I want 5 controllers. I want to do a double segmented arm. I want to go rotate, tip at the base, tip at the elbow, and then piston extension at the end. So we need 5. So that means we need 5, which means we need 15 glue, which means we need 45 clams. Are you serious? We need 45 clams. All right, guess we're going to get clams. Well, at least the water tank will be full by the time we get back. Oh, it's already full. Wow, that took literally no time at all. All right, well, let's just gather all this and let that pump more. Dude, this is insane. This is so much water so quickly now. That's awesome. All right, 45 clams. Let's go. They're not like the hardest thing to find or anything, but you just gotta, you know, get them. You gotta swim to them, smash them, grab the stuff out of them. I mean, we've already got like 5 here, but still, it's just time consuming, right? And of course, we burn daylight, and then, you know, we'll probably be back at night again by the time we've got all this glue. But anyway, it's okay. It shouldn't take us too long. All right, we've gotten a little bit more than 50 clams. Of course, it took the entire day to do it. I think we got like 50. Oh, literally exactly 50. All right, we got 50 clams. We got a bunch of oil. We're, of course, dehydrated again, which is fine. We're just gonna slowly walk back here and die in the process. But we should have enough to craft a ton of glue throughout the night, and then hopefully get building the robot arm, so by morning we can go out and start mining again. All right, we're back at base. The first thing I'm gonna do actually is I'm gonna take one of these controllers, because controllers take glue, and we can just remove this one, which, yeah, it's gonna freak out, I know. So the controllers on this piston engine, all they do is lock this axle in place so that each of these, you know, pistons is off by 120 degrees from the next one. So like all 3 of them make up a full circle. And we don't really need 2 for that. I mean, we've been using 2 controllers, but I think I could do this with 1. Simply, you know what? I could delete this whole bottom section too. That's just really stupid. Why did I even have this? This doesn't need to be here. Yeah. Oh, maybe it did. No, it did not. See, look at that. Just smooths out the bottom a little bit, less likely to hit stuff and bottom out. So we've got this controller here. Now we can actually just take this controller and just upgrade it. 2 connections, boom, done. Now we have 2 connections instead of 1. And now we can, you know, save the extra controllers for something different. So there we go. That should give us... Yeah, perfect. Piston engine back in business. Still works. Excellent. Now we're just gonna mass produce glue for a while until we, you know, have enough glue to make a ton more controllers. Now, I want to use 2 pistons as well to make this thing kind of ridiculous. So I'm gonna use a couple pistons, and then a bunch of bearings, which we have, and we're gonna need a bunch of controllers. So let's actually make a couple pistons first, and then we're gonna start laying out the arm before we actually put all the controllers into crafting, because I want to make sure we get this right and don't accidentally overcraft stuff we don't need. So pistons, we'll get 2 of those. So right there in the middle, that looks good. And then that, and then we're gonna actually have this, you know, on a little bit of a pipe piece as well. Do we have the small pipes? We do. Here we go. Craft one of those. And then it's gonna go from that to a piston. And then the piston will extend up. Starts with a really simple, you know what, let's actually do this out of metal, just to give it extra durability in case something happens. So there we go, metal base, which then goes to a thing, which goes to that, gives us 2 rotation joints, which then goes to another block, which goes to a piston. And that'll extend us up in whatever direction we want. Now this goes to another up-down rotation joint. Actually, you know what, we should put a rotation joint tip up, down. You know what, I screwed this up. Yeah, this goes like that, right? And then this goes to a rotation joint. Okay, so we gotta go another one of these, another one of these. It's not gonna be too fancy of a robot arm, nothing too crazy, but you know, I'm gonna try and make it work as best we can. So we're gonna need at least 2 buttons. W and S will run a third. We'll need a bunch more buttons. Okay. It's kind of difficult building when you actually have an inventory compared to creative. All right. So there's 3 controllers right away. And of course, we'll just wire these in like so. There's 3. And then we need a 4th one. And we can put the piston on top of that block to extend it out the first little length. And then that piston, of course, goes to a block, which then goes to the second rotation joint, which I actually kind of want to extend up to the front. Yeah, perfect. Wonderful. We need another controller. This is going to fall over. Actually, you know what? We can just put this on the lift. There we go. Perfect. And that'll go up, tip forward to another rotation joint here, which then can go like that. And that rotation joint will then attach to a drill bit like so on the end of a piston. And that would be where we put either our saw or our drill bit. It would be attached to that last end piece. And for now, since we're going to use the drill, let's just grab the drill and put it on this. And voila. All right, so we can just put our gas engine here, connect that into there. And we need 2 more controllers. I kind of want to move this gas engine like down a little bit. There we go. Kind of built in, so it's a little bit lower. Just give the robot arm, you know, a little bit more room. Put a metal block there and a metal block here. There's no way to get another controller in there easily, is there? No, probably not. That's okay. We'll put another controller just kind of along the side here, I guess. I don't know. Can we, is there really no spot? What if I just do this? There we go. And then we need buttons. So we need 4 buttons for rotation and pitch. And we'll put all these on 15 degrees with a loop as well. 15 degrees with a loop. So we're not going to have, like, you know, the best precision control on this robot arm. It'll be 15-degree intervals. But I feel like that should be more than enough to have us mine. It is going to be a slow robot arm, but it'll do. It'll do for now, and it'll definitely get us going. And it should be faster than just having a drill bit mounted on the front of the vehicle, because we can still move the vehicle as well as use the robot arm. So let's just get this all set up here. There we go. What if I put gas in here? Are you gonna freak out? No. No, you're not. Why are you not? Oh, because you're not connected. That would be funny. There we go. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, so 4 buttons to start. Let's put them, you know, let's just put them all in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is probably where the game's gonna be like, you need a better seat. Actually, you know what? We'll put the switch at the top, and then we'll go like this. So we'll connect the switch in first. That'll go to the engine, and that'll go to that. So now if we press 3, turns on, turns off, easy mode. Got these extra 2 buttons. So these will be rotate 1, and that's, I think, the rotate the other, and then tip up, tip up. So now if we go 4, it rotates left. 5, oh, they both rotate the same direction. Okay, hold on. 4 rotates to the left. 5 rotates to the right. That is awesome. 6 tips it up, and 7 also tips it up. Need to change that, so 7 tips it down. Does that work? 7 tips it, nope, 6. Oh, okay, I got that reversed. Flip both those. All right, so 6 tips it up, 7 tips it down, perfect. And then we just need a couple other switches to activate the extenders. The reason we have these extenders is just so the arm is compact when we're not using it, right? So get a couple other switches here and throw these guys down as well, and should be good to go. Just boom. We could probably honestly have both of them on one switch. Yeah, look, max connections. Okay, let's upgrade this thing. Thank you. Still max connections. Are you serious? Okay, now you've got still max connections. What? How are you still max connections? I just upgraded it so many times. It's still max connections? Connections +2. I need 2 more upgrade modules. All right, I just drove up the road a little bit. I got some extra component kits, just found them out in chests in the middle of the field. So let's see, upgrade. There we go. Settings unlocked. Okay, well, what is that? Settings, what does settings do? Oh no, that's next upgrade. Okay, well, what does this do now? Can I finally connect this? I'm so confused. It literally said +2 connections if I upgrade it, And now I still can't get it. All right, I guess I have to go find more component kits. All right, I think I found enough component kits to finally upgrade this thing. Yeah, 5 more, perfect. All right, here we go. Fully upgraded seat. Can I connect this? Max connections reached. That makes no sense to me. How many connections? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 10 connections. But 2 of them are steering, but it doesn't matter. So this seat actually can't connect to as much as the regular creative mode seat used to be able to. So you can't even do a vehicle with one seat doing all the steering. That must be a glitch. Because every time I kept upgrading it, it kept saying more connections, and now it won't let me do connections. I don't understand what are the settings. Oh, I can go here. Ooh, that's kind of cool. You can do a lot of stuff there. But either way, I can't connect it to that switch. That is unfortunate. That is rather terrible. I don't know. I'm gonna have to email the devs about that one, because I don't understand why I shouldn't be able to, in a max seat, do all the same things that I could do in the creative mode seat, because now I'm limited to what vehicles I can build, seeing as how I can only use 10 connections total on a single seat. So I gotta make sure that if I'm building something with a robot arm, that we actually have like the robot arm on a separate seat and do all that way, which is kind of a pain in the butt. So maybe it's a feature, maybe it's not intended, maybe it's a bug, who knows. Either way, let's head back to base because the sun's coming back up, and let's try this thing out as a miner. So for now, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take this switch at the back, which we can't actually use, and we're just gonna put it right up here on top, basically by the engine, and we'll connect it to the 2 pistons. So now, before you start mining, you just hit that, it extends the arm out to its full potential, and then you can mine, and then you just turn it off when you get back in the vehicle. That's unfortunate. I was really hoping we could actually put that on the buttons themselves, but apparently we can't for some reason, so I'll have to ask the devs about it. Seems kind of weird, because every time we went to upgrade, it kept saying, you know, +2 connections, +2 connections, but it never actually gave us more connections. I feel like the level 5 seat should just be able to connect to unlimited things, pretty much the same way the creative mode seat can, or I think the creative mode seat had a limit, but it was just a ridiculously high number, and I feel like that's what we need. Anyway, we have a really cool looking seat now. Not that it matters. Kind of a waste of component kits, to be perfectly honest, but whatever. Let's go mine some stuff and see how mining goes. First, we gotta head back though and pick up one of those mineral storage containers and put it on this. And actually, we're gonna throw the bed on the back of this vehicle too, just in case we're a little bit far away from base and we die from dehydration or something. So let's get all that set up and let's go try mining a rock and see how it goes. It's amazing how powerful a piston engine is. I mean, we just added a bunch of weight and it doesn't even care. It's just like, okay, great. You wanted to go over here? Fantastic, let's do that. Okay, so there's this rock right up here on the side of the road. So let's try this out. Let's kill this farm bot that's coming up behind us first before we get our vehicle wrecked. Hey, buddy. Yeah, no, sorry, you gotta die. Yeah, thank you. Our gears are slipping a little bit. We might actually need to lower the power on these pistons. They might be a little too high with the gear setup there, because they're just slipping around the axle. But anyway, let's try this out. So here we go. Forward. Yeah. Okay, good enough. And now, what is it to turn on? 3? 4 rotates that way, 5 rotates that way. There we go. Let's rotate it. This is definitely needing some upgrades. We're gonna need to use some component kits on this, but it should be good to go if I can just get it to grind. There we go. Let's do it. Do it. Do it. Yes. Yeah, I definitely need a faster robot arm. Look at that gear slip though. That's incredible. Okay, you know what? Let's lower the speed on these guys a little bit. This is part of the problem with high-speed pistons, is that they just slip more than the regular ones. There we go. See, look at that. So much better now. I gotta really learn the controls for this thing. 4, 5, and we definitely need to speed up these controls. Oh my goodness, look at that. Look at how crazy that is. Let's go 6. Let's lean it. No, 7. Let's lean forward. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, there we go. Nice. We need just a huge robot arm, like a massive robot arm. This arm is pretty good. It's so floppy though, like when you hit something with the drill bit, it's just ridiculous how quickly it just gets pushed off of it, which is kind of an issue. We need just a bigger arm. Come on, grind that stuff down. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Let's go forward more. Tip this up. Come on. Yeah, like, see, every time it hits a rock, it just gets flung off the rock. So that's kind of part of the issue, I think. Which even the piston engine, like, it doesn't want to push into the rock as much. I feel like this might actually be the one place where gas engines might be a little bit better. Or unless we, of course, had just a huge robot arm to deal with. I feel like what we need to do is actually just get way more component kits to upgrade all these controllers to be a lot faster, number one. And then number two, we just need a massive drill arm. Like, huge. Like, honestly, ridiculously large. To the point where the vehicle doesn't even care how big the drill arm is because, you know, you could park a million miles away and just get a whole rock face. But, of course, definitely needs to be faster. This robot arm, it works, but, I mean, it's slow. And since it's so slow to move, it's kind of faster to actually just smash these smaller rocks by hand and just get them into, like, you know, position or whatever. But it's still better than just driving straight into it, to be perfectly honest. This is still going to help, and we're definitely going to be able to mine a ton of materials now. So I'm going to start mining just a boatload. So next episode, we can finally start building a base. I know I've been saying that for like the last 3 episodes, but every time I go to build a base, I realize I need something and I don't have it. So we're just going to have to work harder to get that. And yeah, for this, need more component kits, upgrade all those controllers to be faster so this arm can move around quicker. And then, of course, get those pistons upgraded as well for longer reach, which would be just wonderful. Of course, I wish I didn't have to spend all the component kits on that one seat just to find out the seat doesn't work anyway. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I'm going to keep mining a ton of materials so that we'll just have a ton of that Metal 3 stuff. There we go. Look at that. Grabbing all that. Fantastic. It's weird. The wheels aren't even moving, but the drill bit, for some reason, or maybe it's this giant rock on top of the vehicle, it's actually forcing the vehicle backwards, which is just ridiculous. Like, the whole vehicle's just sliding off this rock. This is what I mean. We need just a massive drill, something that's huge, and we need to make this vehicle just a whole ton heavier because it basically just wants to slide down, and that forces you to kind of always keep your piston engine on, just jamming itself forward like it's doing now. But either way, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And while you're at it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see y'all next time.